This podcast is brought to you by eRadio. For more podcasts, check out our website on eradiosa.com or download the eRadio SA app from the Google Play Store. Enjoy.
Hey, everybody. My name is Carlos Matos, and I am coming from New York City, New York. Let me tell you guys that I am so excited. I am so happy. I am really so thrilled to be right now sharing this amazing, glorious, super, and exciting moment of my life with all of you guys. And let me tell you that we are really changing the world as we know it. The world is not anymore the way it used to be. No.
How do you like our new theme song, Kaine?
That's crazy. That's insane.
Apparently, if you know your technology, you will know exactly what that is all about. It's the BitConnect. Oh, the guy's actually taking off now into space. BitConnect. Good afternoon and welcome to our tech show. We now officially have a name. Isn't it wonderful? It's almost like a baby and now it's got a name.
Yeah, it's growing up.
It's growing up. Now, what's the name?
Steps. It's techPLUS.
Yes.
I must say I do like it.
Yes,
ran
it's
through
nice.
a couple tests and this really sat well.
Absolutely. techPLUS, because we talk about technology and everything around it.
Absolutely.
Yes. So how's your week been so far, Kaine?
It's been a good week. It's nice to see the sun finally coming out in South Africa, not getting attacked by bitter cold winds every few days, you know. It's very nice, actually. I've had a very busy week, but all in all, very well. What about yourself?
No, very, very nice, eh? Very, very nice. Can't complain, and I'm so glad it's a long weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of needed, eh? Jeez, man. But, we got so much to talk about today. We're actually going to talk about this high-profile case of Gabby Petito, 22-year-old YouTuber, vlogger, Instagrammer, and this amazing story that's unfolding right now. Intriguing. The search for her boyfriend after her disappearance and now her murder.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe. I mean, obviously for the family it must be pretty traumatizing. But I mean, as far as I understood, the police showed up at the boyfriend's door to kind of, inquire what was going on, and they were greeted by a number to call their attorney.
Yes,
which is immediate suspicion.
He was lawyering up already.
Yeah, so the family was already preparing. So, I mean, it's a bit suspect to say the least,
Yeah, but she was missing for quite some time before they even reported her missing.
Yeah.
I think like a 10-day period. So why were they waiting so long?
I think she went missing on the 10th of September, or at least no one had heard from her from the 10th of September, and then by the 20th, I think they reported it. Which is already 10 days, I mean, the stats are like after 48 hours, you have 50% of finding a missing person.
Yeah, you're right. But you know that the people say that she actually posted after her disappearance, and they believe those posts weren't from her. The way she was writing it, the angles, the way she was posting, if you really knew her, you would know that something is up. So you know who was posting there, obviously. Eh?
I think
the
so.
Boyfriend, yeah.
And it's not a bad strategy either, keep it... create as much time before the event and actually it being found out as physically possible, and to continue on the whole, okay, I'll post this Instagram pic, I'll send a message to the family, because apparently when they found the body, it was, as you said, it was quite decomposed already, so it had been there for quite some time, which leads me to believe that the actual event might have happened earlier. And then there was that body cam.
Yes. The body cam footage, did you watch or probably skipped through most of it, eh?
I got the gist of it, that's for sure.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, it's very, very long. It's over an hour of police recording and obviously then saying that somebody said they saw him striking her. And then also they separated the two for the night. And people like, oh, why didn't she go back to him,
Yeah, apparently they went to separate hotels and then I know, but it's a big fiasco.
But the big thing is, once again, it's all about social media and the way it looks. I mean, if you looked at... I didn't even know about them before this happened. Did you know about her?
Not a clue.
Or about him? We didn't. So if you look at the photos and the videos that they posted over the last year or so, just look at it. The vibe. Happy. He's sitting there playing his guitar. Sun is setting. They're exploring America. It's beautiful. Everything's wonderful. Exploring the world with their van. They were engaged, kissing on photos, lovely romantic things. But look what happened.
You get pulled over by the police because you're driving rowdy, because you two are having like a physical argument.
And we
right
all
in the
fight.
car.
We all fight, but no, this is a fight that went too far.
It must be a psyche of the psyche of the boyfriend. Just completely out of control. If he gets angry or something, who knows what actually happened? I mean, they might have been walking. She fell off a cliff. He knew they had just been pulled over by the cops for having a physical argument. He disappears. You never know which way it went. But I'm telling you one thing: the fact that this guy's disappeared and is basically on the run is just exceptionally suspicious. That's how you make people come to drastic conclusions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think Instagram actually closed the profile for comments because people were like, I mean, on his stuff, I saw it last night. People were just writing murderer and killer and he was actually standing on a cliff and people say, I hope you fall off and all that kind of stuff, So the people are really going for it.
Yeah, especially if you're a guy who uses social media a lot, and that's how you reach people. I mean, something like that becomes viral. You paint it in a very bad light.
Yeah.
I mean, people have been, given death threats and things for less.
Yeah, but I think social media really plays a big role here. It gives the police also something to go on, gives a bit of clues as to the timeline. So in that case, social media helps. It's helped a lot in a lot of high profile cases, seeing what people posted, where they were at the time and all that kind of stuff, and also the theories of the fans, because sometimes there are some really good theories out there.
Yeah.
And it I think it helps the police.
Well, I think one stranger had given a lift to the boyfriend.
Yes, he was hiking.
They actually posted on social media about it.
Yeah, and spotted the van. I think it was a TikToker or something.
Yeah, they spotted it and they made a video about it to better inform police. But at the end of the day, when something becomes this viral, it's actually very easy to track your own search party.
Yeah.
You kind of have an idea of what they're trying to do. You kind of have a feeling when they say they don't have any more leads or anything like that. Very difficult to find a complete random person who's okay with wandering around, Right
now they're going through that bush area where he was supposedly last seen hiking on foot, and they're going through everything with a fine-tooth comb. But to be honest, and I agree with the comments online, I think he's long gone. I think he's probably in another country by now.
Most people would get the heck out of there.
Yeah, why would you be in the same area hiding in the bushes?
Yeah, exactly.
I think he left his car there as a distraction, just to throw them off,
And the parents said that the car only came back on a Thursday, but then they had police footage the day before on the Wednesday, and the car was parked there.
There's something dodgy with the parents.
Yeah.
I have to be honest.
Covering
something's
them up.
Yeah, something's not right. Yeah, they're covering, definitely.
And if it's your family, I guess you would. But that just proves more guilty, I mean, and they've got attorneys involved before the police even arrive. No,
something's not right here, but I can't wait to see how it unfolds. But I mean, imagine they never find him, because the world's a big place.
Yeah.
And you can hide. You can become a fugitive. I mean, won't have a good life, but
you're gonna be out of jail, and that's the only priority that he probably has.
If he gets caught now, he's going to jail.
Yeah, and probably a life sentence or something, because they determined that it could be a homicide that was the end of it. But speaking of social media, did you know children in China have now been given a daily limit on their TikTok app, which is obviously to combat internet addiction.
Okay.
So they allowed about anyone under the age of 18, once they've confirmed that they're obviously their identity with the help of the parents, they basically only have 40 minutes per day between the times of 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. to access TikTok and actually consume content.
Nice. And what happens afterwards? Does it just cut off? Or?
Yeah, no, after 40 minutes it's done. And they don't have TikTok in China. It's called something else, Douyin.
Oh.
And it is TikTok, but obviously it has a
Douyin.
different name. It's called Douyin. And it's one of the most popular platforms with over 600 million daily active users. 600 million.
No, man.
So, and China recently did a thing with video games as well. If you were under the age of 18, you weren't allowed to play video games during the week. And on
But kids are
weekends-
clever. Don't you think they'll find a way
Oh,
around it?
yeah.
There must be a way around it.
Oh yeah,
There
but
must be.
China, because
Get a
it's
VPN
a
or something, I don't know.
government-orientated thing. The government is going to make sure that they regulate the games. So the games are going to have to take on an additional cost to verify the age of any gamer, and based on the age that is verified, you've got set limitations. Which I'm sure you create a new account and there you go.
Exactly.
So I
Yeah.
don't know how effective it is, but
Unless
it
you
is
get in
China.
trouble, unless they track your activity online and your IP address,
Absolutely.
you could get into trouble.
They've definitely got some strict ways of doing it because
Jeez.
it's a nationwide attempt to
How do you
reduce
feel
video
about
game
it?
addiction. How do I feel about
Yeah,
it?
like having it here in South Africa.
Well, if it was here in South Africa and I was under the age of 18 and they limited me to 40 minutes a day, my first question would be, if I don't play on Monday, do I get 80 minutes on Tuesday?
Good question,
That's
yeah.
the first question.
Probably
I'm
not.
asking, because
Probably
I'll
doesn't
save
carry
up all
over.
my days. Then I have no problem.
Yeah,
but
probably
if it's
doesn't carry
40
over.
minutes a day, some games to play a single game takes 30 minutes. And
Yeah.
now you can't play a second game, so you got 10 minutes of a game where you will basically go offline. Now you got to, you know what I mean? It creates a very complicated issue, which I wonder how they're going to solve. But I'm sure it'll be there for maybe a year or two. Then they'll reduce it slightly, or people will start petitions against it, or whatever might happen. But I think definitely some people can do with some restrictions to how
Yeah.
much they can just sit behind
Bit
a
of-
a
yeah.
game and just burn hours upon hours.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I mean, there's
it's a
gamers
problem.
out there with like 20,000 hours on certain games.
Sure.
I mean, that's a long...
And they live there. I've heard that they actually wear adult diapers. They don't even get up
No, thank you.
to go to the bathroom. I mean, that's a problem. It's not
absurd.
natural.
Absolutely.
It's not natural. Hello and welcome back to techPLUS. It's time for us to look at this week's biggest tech stories. Kaine, you go first.
So this I found very, very interesting, and I'm very interested on how they're actually going to deploy this successfully. So Walmart is obviously collaborating with Ford Motors and Argo AI to roll out a self-driving vehicle delivery service in Miami, Washington, Austin, Texas, making the retailer's first multi-city autonomous delivery project in the US. Now, Walmart's a big company in the USA, right? I mean, it's an
Very big,
absolutely
yeah.
massive company. And obviously Ford, who is a motor vehicle company, and Argo AI, which is an artificial intelligence company, all combining into together to create one single service, a multi-city service which will enable Walmart customers to place orders of groceries and other popular items online for door-to-door autonomous delivery directly to customers' homes. It will use Ford's self-driving test vehicles equipped with the Argo AI self-driving system to deliver Walmart orders to customers. The collaboration brings together the world's largest retailer, a self-driving technology provider, and an autonomous manufacturer able to integrate that technology with the vehicles at scale. This combination builds on Walmart's focus on adopting emerging technologies to meet growing consumer expectations and enhance the last mile delivery process. Now, traditionally, I think it's very cool to have driverless deliveries, because if you look at something, and obviously the first thing to realize is that's a job that's being replaced for sure. A delivery driver is a person who would be employed to perform that particular job. He no longer has that job.
Yeah, exactly.
But if it is supplemented by delivery vehicles, or exclusively only delivery vehicles, usually you would have an issue whereby the driver has to be very experienced in order to time the perfect route so that he can hit every destination
You're right.
in a timely manner
Can the machine do
and
that?
turn back. Well, that's the question.
Good question.
The other question is, you can have 10 drivers, 5 of which are sick that day. Now you have 5 drivers, and you might have food that you're delivering which has an expiry date, like pizza. You don't want to receive a cold pizza, right? No. You also don't want to wait 2 hours for your pizza that you're expecting in 40 minutes, right? So if they're at capacity, driverless vehicles can be a very easy way to make sure that your delivery system is consistent, because they will match up with the time very, very well. They'll be able to look at things like traffic information, all sorts of calculations.
But are you saying now that a car will arrive at your house, in your driveway, and there's nobody in there?
Yeah.
Are you saying that to me now?
So if you have Google Maps and your driveway is recorded at 15 meters, but it's actually 10 and a half, it's going to drive right through your wall. That's a delivery.
Yeah, drive through at your own place. Oh my word, imagine that. You know, what if it gets it wrong and it, like, here's your pizza, but it's driven into your house. Imagine.
Or it just parks on the wrong side of the road and the guy next door is just like,
grabs your pizza,
grabs it, you know?
Yeah, you see, there are a lot of problems with that kind of stuff. I mean, it's amazing.
If it was in South Africa, you would definitely have a guy who would order a pizza, the vehicle's there, and he's going to try get into the vehicle.
Yes, but no, you probably can't. You probably can't hijack it. So, like, you go hijack, but there's nobody inside, and then you'll just drive to the next delivery.
The nice thing now is I don't think it would have worked 10 years ago or 5 years ago, because there was not the simplicity of purchasing, right? And right now, you can order and pay online and receive your items without having to exchange cash, right? Whereas in the past, that wasn't something that a lot of people had. Not every business had online shopping. Someone like Spar or Pick and Pay definitely didn't have it. Checkers in 60 minutes didn't have it, you know? So to be able to take away the cash issue, you reduce a lot of the security risks. But obviously, with it being deployed, this could be something that goes worldwide. But also, we saw with one of the Tesla auto-driving vehicles where there was a right turn and it just decided that straight was the right direction and rode off a road. It makes me worried, you know, like dealing with these
yeah.
Like,
I wouldn't feel safe.
And you can't even fluck the guy in the car because there's no one there. So this driverless car cuts you off. What do? You just ram him. You've got very little options to express your ungratefulness.
Yo, it's so true. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. You know, it's crazy. All this new stuff. It's amazing, but it's also a problem. Like, there's so many sides to it. You can't decide, is it actually good or not? But I mean, how will people have jobs left if these robots are taking over everything? They're already delivering stuff by drone. I mean, now there's a car coming to your house, nobody's inside.
I thought about that as well. But I think, especially from like a person who might deliver pizzas, right? He doesn't believe there are many options for him to get a job, or he's tried to get many jobs, all of which have not been as easy as delivering pizzas. But that same person might actually prefer to work remotely from home, dealing with customer support related issues to do with pizzas not getting delivered properly, wrong orders. You know, there might be a job there that never had to be fulfilled before. Like, if you crash into one of these driverless vehicles, how do you exchange details?
You probably just leave your details in it, and then half the car that's left drives off to the next.
To the windscreen. Call me.
And then what's left of it just drives off.
And it's easy to track down a hit and run.
I can't deal.
Because if you drive into another person's car, he can look at your number plate one time and know exactly who you are. If you just rear end a driverless vehicle, you might have a chance to just scurry away. But there's probably cameras, who knows?
Yeah, I was wondering, won't there be like a control room where people still monitor these vehicles, that, you know, actual humans monitor these vehicles and just see if they're actually still functioning, if they're still online, you know, like you would monitor anything in a control room.
It would be really funny if there's no driverless technology and it's just 6 people in a room with a joystick. Just like car driving simulator style, you know, they got the pedals and the wheel.
Oh, that's crazy. Imagine. Listen, anything is possible, eh?
Absolutely.
We're living in these times. I mean, look at MultiChoice now. I mean, they're actually running out of options, it would seem. They've got a newly launched DSTV Internet. They launched their new product on Tuesday, saying it was diversifying its offering in an ongoing evolution from a traditional video entertainment business. DSTV Internet is a fixed wireless service that operates on MTN's network with 3 capped LTE mobile data packages to choose from. But there's one problem, and that's what My Broadband wrote about today. It's more expensive than many existing fixed LTE and 5G products from mobile networks in South Africa.
Do we have some of those prices on hand?
Let me see. Okay. All the operators' packages with the same or more data were cheaper than DSTV Internet. The SIM-only offer on the 25 plus 25 gig packages, for example, cost $199 from DSTV Internet, while DSTV charges the same amount for the 50 plus 50 gig products. You get double that. So yeah, it's not the best pricing. And then you also get 110 plus 110 gig option from DSTV Internet. That's $479. MTN charges $399. So, and you're running on their network. What are you thinking? How is it working now?
I think that's very
I'm confused,
suspicious.
actually.
It's very odd. It's very odd to have prices more expensive than an actual network provider, because you get this thing called bulk buying or aggregated buying. If DSTV is working with MTN, they're not buying 25 gigs with 25 gigs. They might have 10 customers or 100 customers. That's 250 gigs or 2,500 gigs that you're purchasing. And usually you get a better rate per gigabyte. So the only question that remains is either MTN is being very difficult to work with, or DSTV is deciding this is a great revenue stream and for us to get into broadband. But then we saw the thing with Virgin Mobile, where Cell C just said, we're closing the doors today, no more internet for you. What does DSTV do, and what happens to all the people that are paying for the next month and don't have internet? Can someone like Telkom get involved and provide internet? And what's the difference between a DSTV decoder that has internet and a DSTV decoder that doesn't while you're running an LTE SIM? That's the ultimate question.
It almost feels like they didn't think it through.
And why 3G? Why 3G? I mean, I guess because you can have it anywhere. You don't require a landline or anything like that. But we see with the Rain network.
Yeah, it's completely overloaded.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of data to use when you're streaming DSTV. I mean, you can't watch HD. You'll have to go for standard definition or go down 480.
You might be able to use HD if you're in an HD area. But the thing is, if, let's say 50% of the people that are watching through DSTV's online feature, like watching a movie or catching up or whatever the case may be, they're using either a fiber line, maybe a Telkom router, maybe beam internet, or satellite internet. Now you're taking all those 50% of people and you're making them now use LTE, which puts pressure on the MTN network.
Yeah, and then eventually the towers get congested and everybody's getting slow internet and they can't stream, and you've got a buffering problem.
And does that internet work just on the decoder, or can I connect my phone to my DSTV decoder and have
Good
internet
question. I don't even think they can answer you. You're interesting, hey? But it kind of I just get the feeling that they're running. It's just my opinion. I just get the feeling that they're running out of options.
Cable
it's like they're in a corner.
Really, really old. I mean, just looking at something like, if DSTV was available exclusively as a Netflix solution and didn't require the satellites and didn't require anything, and you could watch anything on DSTV at any time, no matter the channel, doesn't need a channel, the series is available to watch and digest just like Netflix, they'd have a very good business model.
Yeah, instead of streaming all the time and having a schedule.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's obviously the direction
I'm even seeing that in radio. People, they don't necessarily tune in when you say something is at 2 o'clock today. They don't necessarily tune in because they know there's a podcast later, so they'll listen later.
Exactly.
I'm seeing that trend as well. And that's exactly how it goes with TV.
Especially if you work remotely or you have a very busy day. If your favorite movie is at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon and you work 8 to 5, you're not watching that video. And it doesn't even pop up on your radar.
Yeah.
You're just watching whatever's available at that time.
You're right.
the experience becomes difficult. And I think, what's the DSTV package at now? Like 750 Rand a month for all the channels, or like 1,200 Rand a month
it's
for all the
probably
channels?
exceeding 1,000 already.
If it's over 1,000 Rand to view all the channels, that means you can get a Showmax, Amazon Premium or Amazon Prime,
And Netflix.
Netflix for half the price.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not going to run out of movies.
Well, don't go yet, because we are still discussing all the biggest tech stories of the week here on techPLUS. Yes, that's our new name, techPLUS.
Yes.
Now we just need new theme music. We're working on it, and a new logo.
Something with some drums.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Like,
but
drum
we'll have
roll,
that from
please.
next week. You know?
Stay tuned.
As we enter into October.
Exactly.
What have you got for us next, Kaine?
This is something that I found I watched this video and I almost fell off my chair. The Navy's new refueling drone just provided gas to an F-35. But, you would think, a refueling drone, what does it just drive out to the plane, refuel the plane for you and drive away?
Yeah.
No, this drone will refuel a jet or a fighter jet airplane in the air. In the air.
No.
And it seems almost alien or fake, because what happens is, if you watch the video, and I do suggest anyone who's interested in this to go actually watch the video, you see the drone flying at a stable pace in a stable direction, and the jet approaches behind it, and out of the drone at the bottom pops out this little fuse pipe that just travels in the air across to the jet. Just like,
No.
it just wobbles out. They've made some sort of
At that
funnel that
speed.
catches the wind and holds it still, and it just goes woo 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 all the way to the jet, and then it refuels it like that.
Yo.
Can you imagine that happening?
I can't imagine it. Is it a planned thing, or is it actually happening already?
Well, it's already happened because they just tested it. There you can see it doing its job. Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
like,
it's like they plugged into each other.
yeah, it literally looks like a cable running from the
Yeah,
one to the other.
it's not
And I
even a
can think
thick
of a lot
cable.
of ways that can go badly. But apparently, obviously, this is a tried and tested thing. So they're busy testing it now. The US Navy's MQ-25A Stingray refueling tanker successfully refueled a F-35C strike fighter. The MQ-25A will extend the range of all nearby aircraft based on aircraft carriers. The drone was also described as a quantitative leap by a group of Chinese military officers. So I think that is just, it's absolutely insane. I'm even going to show you the video for a second. Take a look at this. You'll have a look while I'm talking. So this jet, while it's flying in the air, it basically refuels the other thing, but it's not. You would think maybe the part that controls the fuel shoots out and connects with the plane, but this thing just gradually, slowly travels through the air while it's flying and connects to the other plane,
And so look at
almost
that
like
thing.
it's a remote controlled like hose pipe.
And so elegantly, actually.
It's so elegant. It almost seems fake.
Yeah, it kind of looks computer generated.
It almost seems fake.
Boeing, yeah.
But it's
My
as
word,
legit as
Kaine,
it
what
gets.
are you telling me?
And that means that for the first time ever, especially if you're in a war or something like that, once your plane's out of fuel, your plane's out of fuel. There's no, you don't just drop out the plane, quickly parachute down, go grab a young fuel tank,
No, then you're
parachute back
screwed.
up. No,
You're screwed.
You're done.
But now it's 2021.
Yeah, now
And
you just
it's-
call in the drone,
It's sorted.
it comes up, refuels you, and you carry on your way.
Yes, like.
Doesn't even have to land.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I thought that's a major leap. I mean, that
Yo.
for me is very, very impressive.
We've come a long way.
And it could mean that because something like this is possible, obviously we're always getting smaller scale, we're always getting better at doing stuff. Eventually, if we ever go into the era of flying cars, where cars actually have the
Lord.
ability to take off into the air, or even a vehicle which is manufactured to be a consumer-based way of moving around via air travel versus road travel, you might never have to actually go to a petrol station. You might be able to click a button on your phone
And then that little friend comes along.
and refuels
And
you right then
refuels
and
you.
there.
You imagine that. But no, Kaine, people can't even drive on the roads. How are they going to drive in the sky?
I'm not even mentally prepared.
Do you have to go for your pilot license?
I'm not even mentally prepared to try refuel my car while driving it,
Yeah.
let alone trying to do it while in the air, because of all the things that can go wrong. But I thought that's very interesting, and obviously the Chinese military gives the green light. This is a-okay. But speaking of the Chinese, Lithuania has urged people to throw away their Chinese phones. Like, they've been very serious about it.
It's spying.
So they reckon that there is some sort of, issue. They say consumers should throw away their Chinese phones and avoid buying new ones, Lithuania's defense ministry has warned. A report by its National Cybersecurity Center tested 5G models from Chinese manufacturers. It claimed that one Xiaomi phone had built-in censorship tools, while another Huawei model had security flaws. Huawei said no user data is sent externally, and Xiaomi said it does not censor communication. So they contradicting what Lithuania is saying, and it's also to keep in mind that Lithuania and China have a issue. There is tension between them. So they say our recommendation is to not buy new Chinese phones and to get rid of those already purchased as fast as reasonably possible, said the defense minister. So talking about Xiaomi's censorship, and this is something that I thought, whoa, that's actually pretty hectic. Xiaomi's flagship Mi-10T 5G phone was found to have software that could detect and censor terms including Free Tibet, Long Live Taiwan Independency, or Democracy Movement, the report said. It highlighted more than 449 terms that could be censored by the Xiaomi's phone's system apps, including the default internet browser. In Europe, this capability has been quote-unquote switched off on these models, but the report argued it could be remotely activated at any time.
Oof.
Which I think in general, if phones have this kind of software integrated into it, it is a massive issue, whether it's true or not, whether it's an attack on Chinese manufacturers in terms of smartphones, or whether it's just facts and it's really happening. So Xiaomi's device, and this is what Xiaomi said, Xiaomi's devices do not censor communications to or from its users. Xiaomi has never and will never restrict or block any personal behaviors of our smartphone users, such as searching, calling, web browsing, or the use of third-party communication software. So they say, no, this is completely not true. But if you really did find code or software within the phone that had this prescribed functionality, you can't say that it's not possible, So if it's a false identification or a false report, that's one thing. But if that is real, that is concerning. The thing about Huawei, though, the Huawei P40 was tested. The report highlighted a flaw in Huawei's P40 5G phone, which puts users at risk of cybersecurity breaches. Now, this is one I slightly less agree with. They said the official Huawei application store app gallery directs users to third-party e-stores where some of the applications have been assessed by antivirus programs as malicious or infected with viruses, a joint statement by the Lithuanian Ministry of Defense said. So that's a relatively big claim, because Huawei created the app gallery to combat Android not allowing it to run on the Play Store anymore. And the app gallery is just a really nifty way of ensuring that you get the same functionality that you had before without having to use the Play Store. So for something like Airbnb, it's a glorified web browser. It just allows you to travel through an integrated web browser to Airbnb and utilize the app. But with like any app, people can create apps that aren't necessarily as legitimate as they are advertised. So you can't blame Huawei for having that security concern as much as they can do as much as they can to not allow it. Their goal is to give people the functionality that Android has taken away.
Exactly, yeah.
So Huawei not so bad, and Xiaomi nothing to do with South Africa, but that functionality being applicable just goes into this whole censorship struggle that is happening, that you might go to TikTok and there's something about the government that you need to know about, or something about an individual within the government that you need to know about, and that somehow is censored and restricted from your view. So you think you're getting the full info, but you're not. So it'll be very interesting to see how that develops, but definitely Lithuania taking a shot at Chinese cell phone manufacturers.
Yes. Listen, also I see, just getting back to DSTV, they're trying to also get people to sign up now by offering all their sport channels for free for this weekend, for the long weekend.
Just for the weekend.
Just for this long weekend.
So sign up for DSTV for
Heritage weekend and everything. So they'll give you access to all the sports except for the rugby.
The main sport.
The main event this weekend, the rugby, the box play.
Sign
They'll
up
give
this
you access
weekend
to
and get-
everything except for that.
They're saying sign up this
why?
weekend and get free access to all the sports channel except the one you care about most.
Yeah.
And right after the long weekend, you can pay full price, no problem.
Just
What a special.
doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, it just doesn't make sense. And then listen, Netflix has got a lot of cash. They actually they made an offer to buy the works of the novelist Roald Dahl, who wrote Matilda and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They purchased the rights to it for just a little over 10 billion rand in the deal. That's 500 million pounds, or is that euro?
Yeah.
So that's a lot of money, and they're paying it to his family. And yeah,
That is a lot
just
of
like
money.
that, we'll give you 10 billion rand to buy this author. I mean, that's an amazing author, to buy his catalog and make movies and shows.
They'll make a
on
lot more
Netflix.
money than that.
Netflix
from
is a
it.
lot of money, eh? Just like
500
that.
million.
Just like that. Whop.
I ran some numbers the other day, you know, like 60 million subscribers at 100 rand each.
Yeah,
is
they make a lot of money.
a flippin' ton of money.
Yeah.
You know, it's absolutely, definitely more than DSTV makes.
Yeah, shame.
That's for sure.
We're about to wrap it up here on techPLUS for this week. Just quickly, social media is so interesting. I mean, just in this week, there was a story on TMZ.com, which is the celebrity website. And did you know that it was actually news that Jennifer Lopez isn't following Ben Affleck on Instagram, and he's also not following her? That's actually news. It was a headline saying Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck not following each other on Instagram. That was a story. It was a news headline.
I mean, that could just be coincidental.
Yes,
you
but
know?
yeah, and I mean, they're dating right now. They're back together. But why on earth? Why does it matter? Just because they're not following each other on social media doesn't mean they're not following each other in real life. Know what I'm saying?
I think people often underestimate the sheer size of someone like Ben Affleck or Chris Hemsworth. You know, they're community managers. The people that make sure their posts go live.
Exactly.
The people that make sure their live streams stay live
Yeah,
streams.
they're not on it the bloody all the time themselves. They've got
No
people
ways.
managing it.
No ways. Some community management's fired there. But Ben Affleck's like, no, you're not following my girlfriend. What? Get out of here. I'm hiring a new person.
But listen, it brings me also, as we spoke about Gabby Petito earlier, and how everything just the sun always shines on Instagram, you know. Just listening to something that Elon Musk said in an interview with Joe Rogan. It's a clip we're going to listen to now. Just listen what Elon Musk, a very, very intelligent man, has to say about Instagram.
One of the issues with social media that's been pointed out by many people is that I think maybe particularly Instagram, people look like they have a much better life than they really do.
Right.
So
By design.
yeah, people are posting pictures of when they're really happy. They're modifying those pictures to be better looking. Even if they're not modifying the pictures, they're at least selecting the pictures for the best lighting, the best angle. So people basically seem they're way better looking than they basically really are.
Right.
And they're way happier seeming than they really are. So if you look at everyone on Instagram, you might think, man, they're all these happy, beautiful people, and I'm not that good looking, and I'm not happy. So I must suck, you know, and that's going to make people sad. So when in fact, those people you think are super happy, actually not that happy. Some of them are really depressed. They're very sad. Some of the happiest seeming people, actually some of the saddest people in reality. And nobody looks good all the time. It doesn't matter who you are.
No. It's not even something you should want. Why do you want to look great all the time?
Yeah, exactly. So I think things like that can make people quite sad.
Elon Musk, I like you even more. It's so true what he said there, hey, Kaine?
Absolutely.
It's a problem.
It's true. I mean, people want to portray the best version of their life. And
then we try to measure up
yeah, you compare your own life to someone.
to something that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
So why? What's the point?
publicity.
This is why I don't like
Self-evaluation.
Instagram that much.
Yeah, there's a term in Old French language. I think it's amour propre. It's your own worth determined by the opinion of others.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And it's the chase for that.
Yeah,
you know?
you're so right.
And it
yeah.
might not necessarily, because some people might see it and be sad, and some people might see it and work harder.
Exactly. Yeah, it could
You
be
know?
motivational. It could be.
And
Not for me. Personally, for me, I feel like I don't measure up.
No,
That's
and
how
there's
I feel.
apps that make you look 30 times better than you really
Yeah,
do. You can take a
it
picture of
shrinks
yourself
you.
on a bad day and you look better than Tom Cruise.
Exactly.
You know?
But Kane, the problem is people start believing that and that they look like that.
Yeah.
There's actually a movie about it called, I think it's with Rebel Wilson, is it? And it's about, I Feel So Pretty. No, it's not Rebel Wilson, it's another actress. But anyway, she sees herself completely different to what people sees them.
Yeah.
Sees her.
That's
And,
very true.
Yeah, it's a problem because you start believing what you're seeing on the screen. You believe that you are actually that person, that Photoshop person,
Yeah.
that filter person, and you're not. And yeah, you live a false reality.
Well, you look really good when you post your Instagram picture and you look really bad when you go in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
So it
But
creates this
you
false
start
negative.
seeing that picture that you see on Instagram, and you kind of live according to it.
Yeah.
And other people are like, excuse me, what? WTF?
I even watched something the other day where someone was making a decision based on what the people who followed them thought.
Sure.
You know, and being your own person being someone means you making decisions and people reacting based off of those decisions. That's what makes you you. So if you make all your decisions based on the people who follow you, then you're no one, because you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
You're not being a person. You're just doing exactly what people want you to see. It's a catch-22.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think I saw an article I was going to include in this tech show, but Facebook, I think, even admitted that Instagram has been a problem for a few years in that regard, but they haven't really necessarily done anything about it. But they
Yeah.
took away the likes and things like that.
Yeah,
you
there's
know.
not much you can do, eh?
Yeah,
At the end, it's up to the user.
It's easy to become a like warrior. You know,
Yeah.
you're just wanting as many likes as possible for
Yeah,
every single
it's a
post that you make.
dopamine hit. People get hooked on it.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling. Let's be honest.
But it's not worth the feeling of, you know, maybe you post at 3 a.m. in the morning and you have 10 likes after 4 hours.
And you remove it because it looks stupid. Kaine, what have you got for us to wrap up?
So to wrap up, I'm taking a look at Twitch and how they deal with people playing music in streams.
Yes, how?
Yeah, so Twitch has had a long and quite annoying history with the music industry, causing friction for both streamers and publishers alike. Publishers are concerned with the streaming platform allowing streamers to stream their music without proper licensing, resulting in many content creators receiving digital Millennium Copyright Acts, which are strikes, and having their content taken down. Similarly, some content creators feel that they have been wrongfully DMCA struck for music they feel that they should have been allowed to use. Some DMCA strikes have been particularly bizarre, such as when Dragon Force guitarist Herman Lee had his account suspended for performing his own music on stream last year.
You're performing your own music and they suspend your channel for copyright
outta
purposes.
here.
I'm like, dude, I wrote that song. For God's sakes.
And it's true, and I'm someone who's obviously worked on YouTube a lot and got, you know, loyalty free music and music that is free to use and not licensed, copyrighted.
Yeah.
And on one aspect, the music doesn't necessarily sound as good as today's music.
No.
But sometimes there is a few good songs. But the problem is those songs are royalty free until purchased. So as soon as someone goes and licenses one of those loyalty-free songs, then you are now breaking the rules by playing
Oh my
it.
word. And also everybody's using the same music then.
Exactly. So you could be, if you take it away from Twitch and use something like YouTube, you could release a video with a loyalty-free track on it. A year later, that track has been purchased and licensed, and now you get a content strike because your content contains a licensed piece of music. So you get a strike, 3 strikes and you're out, you know? So it becomes very difficult to manage that, and to buy, I wonder how much it would cost to buy a playlist worth of songs that you can play as a commercial entity.
Exactly. Yeah, Susan's actually saying she's watched a lot of streams, and then multiple times she's seen how the people worry about the music playing in the background because they're worried that their video is going to get taken down for that. So they're so worried and nervous all the time because the music's playing in the background and they're worried that something's going to happen.
I would be worried.
Yeah.
I'd be worried. I'd take all the music that I'm going to play and play it backwards.
But it takes the fun out of it, man. Worrying about the music in the background all the time because you're going to get muted. But isn't there like it's not a person sitting there and muting you. It's a robot. It picks up. It's a automatic process, right? It picks up that you're playing music. It knows, like Shazam. It knows it's a song and it's copyrighted, and then boom, you're muted or blocked or whatever.
I did a live stream a while ago where we played some music, some old rock music, for a virtual cycle tour, and that video got taken down because it had content in that wasn't properly licensed. But the question comes in, if you're a streamer with 50,000 people watching you, all of those people are subscribers, you're getting let's say $5 per subscriber, you're earning $250,000 a month, okay? You should pay for licensing for your music. You know what I mean? The Hardy Dog.
It's a new guest.
Yeah, so you should pay for the licensing for your music. But if I'm a new streamer, I have zero revenue, zero viewers, then I shouldn't be penalized for using a track because I'm not actually garnering a profit from it.
You're right, exactly. Somebody said, if you put the text, I do not own the rights to this music. If you put it in somewhere in your description or something, then they won't suspend you. I wonder if that will work. Should we try it?
I don't advise anyone test that out because that, it's all fun and games until your account's banned. Like like the artist.
Yes.
I mean, he's not allowed to stream anymore. You can't stream his own music anymore.
But it's stupid. There should be a license, a blanket license or something.
Something that you can
because that's how it works in radio. The songs we play, we don't buy a library. We play whatever we want, but we pay for the rights afterwards. And then a blanket, there's a blanket that covers all that songs, whether it's traditional radio or internet radio. There's a blanket fee or blanket. It's a blanket, right? And it covers everything in it. So international, national artists. So there should be something like that for social media.
And
should include that.
It shouldn't cost too much either.
No, it doesn't cost.
Affordable.
No, because they work it out according to your revenue. So it should be the same with you. What are you earning from your channel? And it should be a cut from that.
That's a fair.
Yes.
But if you play one artist song 20 times, you play another artist song 1 time, does it still cover it?
Yeah,
because
the
artist who got played 1 time doesn't deserve as much money as the guy who got played 20
You're
times.
right, yeah.
I also saw a TikToker the other day. His whole thing is he sings over existing music.
Okay.
But that would be pretty difficult if TikTok enforces copyright stuff. His whole business model's gone.
Shame, yeah.
So, very interesting to see what happens there.
Yes. So that's how we wrap it.
That's how we wrap it up.
Lekker. Kaine, thank you so much as always. That's our first edition with our new name, techPLUS.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been an awesome experience.
Thank you very much for coming, and you can take your pet with you, eh?
The Hardy Dog. You can keep him.
Kaine came to the studio with his pet Hardy Dog. He left him in the windowsill. But this bird is just a nuisance. I hope you're going to take him with you.
No, this is your present.
You used to bring, what's his name?
The Weed Whacker.
Yes. What do we call him? Leaf blower guy or something.
Leaf blower guy,
yes. We used to bring him. Now it's Hardy does. What's next?
Albatross. See how that works.
Kaine, thanks so much, man. It was good. It was fun, and we do it again next week. Wow, we really covered a lot of stuff today.
I think it was good going.
It was
excited
really good
for next week.
Yeah, you enjoy your long weekend.
You too. Thanks so much for having me, and all our listeners. Goodbye.
Cheers. Thanks, Kaine.
This podcast was brought to you by eRadio. For more podcasts, check out our website on eradiosa.com or through the eRadio SA app from the Google Play Store.